Okay, we're going.
Stop talking about it and do something!
Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate.
Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent? Good friend.
Earth with that bullshit.
Coming out of the fire closet. This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.
Oop, that went off suddenly. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Jem's Flat Earth Sunday Roast. I am your host, Jem, and joining me as always are just some of the cool kids from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server. They are Kosho and Lewis and Cat Earth, I think, so far.
Yeah, and someone else joined.
Good evening. Who else is with us? Sorry, I'm not even looking at it at the moment.
Looks like Kosho. He just joined with a different account.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good evening, everyone. How are you all?
Oh, good. Very good. In this lockdown time of coronavirus, even though my business is closed and everything's very depressing, I'm in quite a good mood. How are you?
I'm all right, I guess.
Yeah. I've been deemed essential, so I'll still be working throughout this crisis.
Oh, unlucky.
Of course you're essential, Lewis. Who could ever suggest anything else?
Oh, my. Quite a few people, but thank you.
Okay, well, let's get on with it. Our last show took place in a world very different to the one we find ourselves living in today. Since then, coronavirus has swept across the world, and with it, a veritable cornucopia of viral virus videos has swept across the internet. So to set the theme for tonight's show, let's take a quick look at what's been going on. This isn't going to be very quick, actually. But let's do it. Why isn't that running now?
Come on!
I'll do a mic check while we're waiting. You guys can hear me, right?
Yep. It's running, by the way.
Viral one, come and decongest my lungs. Ay, corona, zoonotic transmission. Where's it from? Bats or civet cats, who knows? Why, corona, when's it gonna stop? Fever, cough, wash your dirty hands. Why I ever stop? In Dubai, on vacation, man. Why, achoo!
Shout, Shroomy.
Corona. Don't you come no closer, huh? No closer, bruh. Unless you got an N95. Corona. Got a travel history. I'm quarantined. Should've just quit touching my eyes. Corona. Never getting off. Stuck on board. Such a dirty boat. But why you hoarding masks when you live in Alaska? The way I know. My corona. My corona. When's it gonna get to me? Get to me. You killed it that they called you out. Why, corona? Internet conspiracy. COVID-19. Is it just a pack of communist lies? Corona. Never gonna stop. Media. Such a dirty game, cause no one gets a shot for the flu. But it's just as lame. Why, Corona. Can I have a lime with my Corona? It's time, Corona.
Oh man. Oh my god.
Yes. Your comments on the dystopian future that we now live in.
Pete Shea was right. Piss drinking is always the way to go.
Yeah. They've got that well under control over there.
Did you edit that video, Jeff?
Yeah. I'll whack
That's
that together.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is funny. You should put that out as a separate video.
Yeah, I did think I might do that, although I can't get any money off it.
I think no one can hear
Yeah.
anyone talk. Oh no, audio back. Sorry.
Because of the music. Yeah, we had a bit of a long gap there for some reason. I don't know why. There must be a little bit of lag in the system there. I don't know. Yeah, so
those ladies were.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they were really going at it like it was Black Friday or something like that for toilet paper.
Well, they're in Australia. I think both of those incidents were in Australia, actually.
But they're not even locked down, are they, in Australia or anything? They haven't got much. They're quite behind everyone, aren't they? Or am I?
I think they are locked down now, aren't they?
Oh, okay.
And that was kind of before the lockdown, I think, when that was going on, you know.
Yeah, they had their toilet paper scare just like a week before we did. So
The great toilet paper scare.
It's funny, isn't it?
It is funny.
It's crazier than.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I saw an ad the other day for on YouTube. It was for something called Clear Rear or something like that. It had this like attractive chick, and she's like, "I got this. It's like an electric bidet." And she's like, "You don't ever need to use toilet paper again." I'm like, "Holy, what the hell?"
I've seen people.
How they come out with this that quick?
But I mean, what drove that, do you think? I mean, because I don't think it was really a thing about suddenly people wanted really clean bottoms. I think there was there something psychological going on, do you think? Was it?
It must have been, because somewhere something started with a toilet paper.
Right.
And it just got everyone going, because that was the thing you'd hear about, wasn't it?
Right.
Everyone's toilet paper. Then before you know it, it spreads, and then everyone's trying to get toilet paper.
Right. And it's you can't meet anyone that doesn't think it's crazy, right?
Right.
But a lot of people went and bought a lot of it. So.
Yeah. I think it's like at the back of their minds, they know that, well, this could be really bad. And not having toilet paper would really suck.
Right.
That would, and so they're trying to, they don't want to lose their dignity. And in the process, they kind of did.
I wonder if it isn't a sort of a mass OCD. You know, where you get these OCD people that are sort of terrified of germs and are disinfecting everywhere and things like that. Is it maybe that? Is it this, this is a way that we can protect ourselves if we're,
How many crazy people do you need in your area to buy all your toilet roll? Because it's only going to take 1 or 2 people per shop per area.
Yeah. I mean,
all the toilet roll.
I refused to enter into the frenzy. However, I still felt the need to buy toilet paper, sort of out of cycle from when I normally would. I mean, normally I'd just run out and nip to the shop and get some, But I had a couple of rolls left, and I thought, well, I better get some because people are being so crazy about it and there won't be any. So I went and bought, a pack of 4.
So it spirals, doesn't it?
Which is now run out, and now there isn't any. And I'm going to spend the next 3 months wiping my arse on kitchen paper. But, yes.
No, you can still get it. I mean, I live in London. You can still get most stuff, but the queues are a bit annoying in some of the shops because you have to be spaced out. So many people,
right.
Even in the supermarkets, So, but everything is still coming in. But it is all going. I've got to say, it is. I think it's a bit of both. Like, you should stock up a little bit, really. Everyone should do.
Right.
But can you at this point? You know, and if everyone does, isn't that selfish? I don't know. It's been hard. It's been hard worrying.
I feel the need to admit, to confess, actually, at this point, that a person who pointed out that we should have been stocking up on these things, toilet paper and pasta, notably, and a person who we all took the piss out of for buying a lot of toilet paper and a lot of pasta, was Ranty, of all people. And he was at least a month ahead of the game. At least a month ahead.
Do you reckon you're giving Ranty too much credit? I think I'm Team Riley.
He posted a thing on it. You know, he posted his photo of all his stores, and we were all there going, why has he bought all that toilet paper?
Well, okay.
Well, now we know. He can eBay.
Maybe he's the one to blame for
a tenner a roll.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of one of these people a bit the same. Wherever I would stock up, I've stocked up already, but like I've been stocked up since SARS. Do you know? I get a bit paranoid.
And I put on this video. He made a video about it, and I put on this video. You're crazy. This will all be forgotten about in a month.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
How wrong was I?
Yeah. No, I didn't doubt Ranty. I just don't like Ranty because he's obviously like begging for like money or just begging for attention or whatever. He just whatever. Ranty's not. I'm not a fan of Ranty. Do you know what I mean? But
right.
But yeah, like I've never disagreed that like people should be a little bit worried, whether it's true or not, Corona, whatever. Like that lockdowns were coming because you saw it in other countries. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you guys were a bit quick to think.
Well,
did you really think it wasn't coming?
Well, I didn't think it wasn't coming. It's just where it was in my head was where all these previous virus scares have been.
Right.
I can remember one of the ones before. I think it was swine flu, and there was all this talk about it, and we were all gelling our hands at work, and it was all this big deal, and there was all these. The deaths in the papers every day and the number of people infected. And I can remember my friend at work used to read out these numbers, and he came to work one day and he said, there's 7,000 people in Nottingham with this thing, I think it was. And we started to do a few numbers, and our city doesn't have a massive population. It's like 300,000, but that's at peak when all the students are in town, and when they're not in the summer, it goes down by about 120,000 or something like that. So, and we started to work it out, and we thought, well, we're in a company of 250 people. One of us should at least know somebody who knows somebody who's got this, and nobody had. And you kind of start to wonder, and I kind of chalked it up. I thought it's going to be that again,
Yeah.
We're going to get all wound up, and we're all going to be gelling our hands and stuff, and then in a month it'll all be forgotten about, and everything will go back to normal. And like I say, I think it's probably the wrongest I've ever been about anything.
Really? Okay.
Well,
I would have had you straight, Jim.
Having said that, I got married. I got married, didn't I? So I mean, what can I tell you? That wasn't the smartest move I ever made. Although I got 2 lovely children from it, and now 2 lovely grandchildren. So.
Oh, congratulations!
What
was that recent?
End of last year. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, middle and summer and October of last year.
It does seem like crazy how this thing whipped up. It's like it all came out of China and then spread to Italy, and then like this great hand washing began where everybody just started shutting down because they don't want to have people to be able to look back and say, look, you did nothing.
Right.
I think that's how I'm looking at it, Lewis, as well. Is that like I'm not so sure how still, because I've never thought, like, I'm still not of the opinion like how we're not making too much of a deal of it, if I'm being honest, but I still would take every single precaution I have. I've shut my business. I've done, do you know what I mean? Like
that's it.
Because I don't want to, I'm not clever enough to know.
No, neither am I. And I think that I'm not sure if anyone really is until we because you need to. It's not just about having the ability to interpret the data. It's about having the data, and we haven't got the data yet.
Right.
So I think that's the problem, and I agree. I think you've got to err on the side of caution, and that's what people have done, and that's what we all must comply with. But I'm still not convinced that they've got it right. Go ahead. Liz.
Right. I think looking back on it, as we can reflect on it in the future, I think this is a worthwhile experiment that we're going through as the entire world. The entire world is going through this, and I think it's worthwhile to see how we do.
Right.
Because this isn't going to be the last time something like this happens.
Right. And what if this was something that spread in this way, but had the effect of Ebola or something like that? Where it was much more lethal to those who were infected and could it infect as easily or something? Because I think the thing is with Ebola is you get infected and it very quickly, kills you or
had a very high death rate,
or at least immobilizes you and makes it harder for you to infect other people. Whereas, there's a possibility with this, or what they're saying is that, a lot of people can be asymptomatic and, there's this idea that some of us could have been wandering around for months and have already had it and not even noticed it. So
I think that's the thing that a lot of people I know anyway that are worried about is that even though it's a low death rate, you wouldn't want to give it to someone else.
Right.
Take it lightly who can't handle having it, or for some reason they do fall in that percentage.
Or be the person that fucks it all up.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with the idiots who aren't worried about it, and so they think that they don't have a need to protect themselves, but they're not realizing or thinking about, if it's a real thing, then it's not just worry about them getting infected, but they're possibly infecting, scores of other people all over the place by not being precautious.
Right.
All right. Well, on that depressing note, shall we get back to it? For actually, it doesn't get much better, actually.
No.
So, now to the Flat Earthers. That is a bunch of... Oh, no, wrong one. Yeah, this is a show about Flat Earth, and the Flat Earth community leapt into action with their coronavirus response. Yes, it turns out many of the people who don't know what the sky is are actually medical experts. Let's check out a couple of examples. Can anyone remember how I do this?
No.
Oh, hang on. Sorry about this, guys. I'm a bit sluggish tonight.
It's all right. None of us have got anything to do. So.
I'm just kind of curious what you guys think about why is this going on? What really do you think is the bigger agenda, behind this? Because it's obviously not a whole bunch of sick people. That's becoming, very obvious to me.
Yeah, my feeling on it, I was one of the early ones to expose the 5G connection to what was happening in my videos. And also, I think staying at home, staying in your electromagnetic field is beneficial for them because not to say that the background radiation even outside your home is a problem, but for those of us who are rural, if we go out and about, we're not getting signals, so we're not getting inundated with fields, electromagnetic fields. So there must be something they're testing, is my sense. I know that they can use 5G and certain technologies by shifting the frequencies of it as a weapon. Like they have that weapon that can make crowds disperse. I can't remember the name of it, but it basically does use what 5G tech is. It's just a little bit altered.
Yeah, it's just microwaves that basically penetrates the top layers of skin and makes it very, very hot. And
it's 90 gigahertz instead of 60. Yeah, it's just 30 gigahertz more. But yeah, it makes you feel like you're on fire.
Right. And, one of the issues with what's happening with 5G particularly is the way that it touches not just the field. A lot of people don't talk about the field, but one of the ways is that it makes your your cells or your sweat glands act like mini antennas. And so my sense is maybe they're doing an experiment and they need people to be in their energy fields, like their electrical fields, to see if the test will run the way they want it to. This is just an idea or a theory, but why did they want us staying at home? I think there's two things going on. I think there's a good side and a bad side happening. I think there's a war happening right now. I think there are people also on the good side that are doing things and have been doing things on the sly for a while. And I think this is the active war is happening right now. So there might be good reasons to be staying home. There might be other nefarious reasons for staying home. And really, until the dirt comes out, we can only speculate.
Yeah.
But I do have. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, with some of the things that have been going around is they're saying that there's fleets of vans going around that are installing 5G in public buildings and in schools, specifically. Now, I haven't seen that yet, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's part of the agenda. However, I'm not sure why they couldn't necessarily do that, more out in the open, for that. So. As far as in-house, now most people have Wi-Fi in their house, and most people have a Wi-Fi router, which typically is at 2.4 gigahertz, and they also have the 5 gigahertz band, which is like 5.6 or 5.7 gigahertz. But it's fairly low power. But again, obviously we know by 5G that it doesn't exactly have to be super high power to have deleterious effects on your cells and your physiology.
And smart meters. You're forgetting the smart meters.
Yeah, that's true. The smart meters is another thing. Now those haven't been fully implemented here in Colorado, but a lot of places obviously are. And as you guys brought up in I think your first movie, Steve, about the 5G, specifically the 60 gigahertz 5G being rolled out in Wuhan, that to me is super interesting. So I mean, there's definitely a connection, between these two things. That and also, like we were talking about earlier, the chemtrails, the aluminum that is in your body. I mean, they're literally weaponizing this. And it obviously can be used as a weapon, to saturate us up with aluminum and other metals, and then by various pulsing, I guess, techniques, they can cause the hemoglobin in your blood to not absorb oxygen. And I think I have that right. If I'm wrong, let me know.
That's
Amanda.
right. Yeah, that's right. And what I think we should talk to Amanda about, which I want to ask her about, is in making part 3 of the movie, we make viruses, and we should get into that. Like, the whole point of this today is you do not catch a virus, you make it. According to the World Health Organization themselves, 64 million people a year come down with what's called the common cold or flu, which they call coronavirus or adenovirus. This is not new. COVID-19 means the 19th version of the known coronavirus. You make it.
And that was that.
Oh man, I've been waiting for them to go back and say on all these other scientific theories, for them to just start saying, well, it's just a theory, guys. It's all just a big theory. Look at all the CGI.
Well, your wish may be granted later in the show, Lewis.
Oh man. So I guess what do we have coming? We have mind control / mass torture techniques that they're preparing to install on the population. Is that?
Well, this 5G one seems to be quite a popular idea, that it's all caused by 5G. Although I think it stems from the idea, I don't know how true this is, that Wuhan, where this thing began was the first place to have this full 5G coverage. Is what is the phrase that I'm hearing. So I don't know how true any of that is, but
you know,
a
friend. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I was just going to say, I think I'm kind of, conscious that I think this is a time in history, and I think it's important that we document this time in history from our angle, which is the angle of sort of, internet bullshit and conspiracy theories. And so, I think it's a good idea to document this whole 5G idea and discuss it a little at least.
Well, it's interesting because does anyone actually know? Has anyone? Because you hear this, don't you? Wuhan was the first place to roll out 5G, but is that true? Because that's what I've learned from this internet bullshit. A lot of people talk some convincing shit, and it's bullshit.
Yeah.
No, it is true. There was actually a friend sent me a video yesterday with this. It's very, it's like it looks like he's at a school, doing a school play or something like that. But he's on stage and he's talking about a book called Invisible Rainbows, and this book is kind of he's showing like a parallel between how in 1918 there was the flu there was the bird flu. I mean, the avian bird flu, the Spanish flu, and how that coincides with, and I don't know how true this is, but it says exactly when radio waves.
Yeah, radio.
Yeah, exactly. Radio waves were set up. Power lines were set up everywhere, and so he said a bunch of people died, and then some people, people lived on, but they got more and more sick. And then he showed something about, I think, World War II and radar, and then he showed something about this. What else?
When we had our first satellites, first telecommunications satellites, isn't it? And
so you've seen this one?
Yeah, I have seen a little clip of it. Yeah.
Okay, and I was looking up so I looked up reviews on the book, and it looked like the guy was skeptic. He was skeptic of
something rainbow, isn't it? Something.
It was Invisible Rainbows.
Invisible
is the name of the
Rainbow.
book.
Yeah, that's
right. And so I don't think there's anything to it, but it is. I guess it's an interesting thing. But obviously, we know what viruses are. So just to say that they're caused by sort of radio waves is strange.
Correlation is not causation, and maybe this is a really great example of that.
And it's not even a perfect correlation. It looks like the US and the UK and South Korea all rolled out 5G plans in 2019 as well. And so the timeline doesn't.
Yeah, but Lewis, from being in London, the 5G started about maybe 6-7 months ago because everyone's internet went shit and they kept texting us. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's cutouts, we're upgrading, and that was all for the 5G. So it's quite recent since, do you know what I mean, they've installed stuff. And the other thing I'd love to know is not only the Wuhan, but is it true Italy was the second place to really roll out a lot of 5G? Because that would be interesting to know. But I'm not saying, do you know what I mean? One thing I will say is this is the new 9/11. Conspiracies rolling off this are going to go for ages. It's going to be really fun.
Right. I mean, as it Charlie just pointed out in the chat, that some people are saying that it's fake entirely. Some have gone down this 5G route and are saying there is a virus, but it's caused by 5G. And others are just saying there isn't a virus and they're just making it all up to install hard communism and this sort of thing,
Communist propaganda!
So, and another thing people are saying in the chat, which I did want to point out, is that the guy said that it's the 19th version of a coronavirus, and that's why it's called COVID-19, and that's not correct, of course. It was the 19 is the year that it was first identified.
I think everything that guy said was wrong.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. But people have picked up on that, so I thought it was worth mentioning.
I mean, I could tell you about the most crazy conspiracy. I don't know if you've all read it, if you've ever read any of the QAnon stuff. But I mean, their one is pretty insane about what.
Yeah, I was going to get into that.
Oh, what's
I don't
that,
know if
then?
you want to talk about that.
Yeah, we can do that. We can touch on it. Let's not go into too much detail.
Oh, do you want me to talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Without going into too much detail, apparently everybody in Hollywood's doing some drug, which I think the detail of how this drug is, but it's also to do with Pizzagate. I think that's enough to say. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So they have this drug, and apparently it's infected, and that's why all the stars and the Hollywood stars are ill and all that who've been tested. Is probably just because they're famous enough to get a test. Most people can't.
Right.
But still, it's a fun one, and basically all the army, everything's mobilizing because the whole Illuminati are going to be arrested over this thing. The extreme thing is about the drug, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? So, but skipping all that they're going to arrest all the Illuminati, all the bankers, reset the banking system, and the world's going to be awesome. So there you go.
I heard something similar from.
And
none other than
JFK
Witsit.
Jr. is behind it all. Sorry, got to mention that obviously because that's
I hadn't heard that, but I heard that during this whole thing they're going to shut the power off. So it's like a planned power outage.
Yeah, 10
and
days.
so that's going to last for 10 days. And I think the end of the 10-day period is going to be on Easter or something like that. And
Friday, isn't it?
basically what Katarsh just said, like they're going to reset the finance system and usher in like this new one world government bullshit. So
Wait, so I've been saving all my money for nothing?
Yeah, because it's all gone. That's true. Apparently, if you got money in the bank, see you later.
Forget it. Yeah, it won't be worth anything.
But it's okay because we'll actually won't have to work like slaves anymore because you'll have governmental banks rather than privately owned banks and all that. And
I'm going to join a gang of marauding Hell's Angel types and go and commandeer a mansion somewhere and live there for the rest of the day.
I'm looking forward to not having to work anymore personally. It sounds great.
I'm already living that life right this second.
Well, I don't know, Lewis. Given your skill set and given what's coming, I think that you will be required to, park the buses in a circle in the desert in order to defend our supply of toilet paper from the gangs that surround all the buses and stuff, in our encampment.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot. Those large vehicles are going to be very important.
Yeah. I imagine it. I hope it is going to be quite Mad Maxy, this future, That's how
I don't have quite enough bullets for that, Jeremy.
Well, I live in the UK. I don't have any bullets or any guns or anything to protect me from the horrible people,
It's odd thinking about it, but it's like you think like the flat earthers or just really anyone into conspiracy theories, preppers or whatever, they're always like warning about something like this and talking about, stocking up and this and that. And then when it happens, they're like the first ones who don't believe that it's even happening. And that there's people like Elijah who's like, I'm eating in Chinatown every day. I don't give a fuck. Like, what the hell? I thought I was kind of like they're the least prepared.
Shall we have another clip?
Yeah. I'm a little worried what this one might have to say.
Yeah, so am I. What is it? Let me have a look. Oh, I know, yes. Now, to flat earthers, that is, a bunch of people who spend all day on the internet, stay-at-home orders, which mean they have to spend all day on the internet, are just too much to take. Here is a flatty who decides to stand up and fight against the oppressive state. Hit that play button.
No, check this shit out here. It's like local park that's nearby where I live. They got the whole fucking swing set just all roped off right now. Gotta practice that social distancing, Oh, I can't wait to read this shit. Caution. Children might want to play. Apparently we can't have that. What the fuck? This is ridiculous. Really? Kids can't play. Let's take the littlest bit of freedom and just freaking invert it and making it sound like, no, this is a danger zone. Kids could get sick from looking at all this stuff. They could get sick because they might play with each other, might find lifelong friends, might produce awesome families and cool babies. No, we can't have that here. No, we gotta have caution tape everywhere. and prevent people from having fun. Fuck this noise, man. This is horseshit. Fuck this noise. Fuck this shit. I do not fucking consent to this shit at all. This is fucking horseshit. Kids are our last fucking bit of youth and bit of freedom. This is fucking retarded. Kids are meant to play. You don't fucking take that shit away from them. Because I remember being a kid, the playing a freaking swing set no matter where I was. Now they're just like not gonna allow that. Your own fucking kids, your own flesh and blood being restricted from having fun in their life, where they're just allowed to just totally have a screen in front of them to teach them how things are. Fucking garbage. Such fucking garbage. Okay, there's the garbage can. I hope to God that more people freaking start having balls to do something like this instead of just lying down like a bunch of cowards. Kids should be able to play. This is fucking horseshit. In you go, fuckers. And caution my ass. Fuck that noise. Oops. I missed a spot. There we go. One park. There's many more parks in Washington State. But hopefully kids will be able to play again if their parents have the balls to allow them to go outside and not be afraid of a fucking bullshit virus that you can't even freaking pass around. That feels good. So yeah, I would encourage anyone else to try doing something like that. Even if it's just a little bit.
My building 2 blocks down. I wanted to grab.
Well, that was fun.
My God, that was incredible.
That was amazing.
I can imagine him taking his kids over there and saying, "Play,
right,
play,
lick the slide."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, it's winter. It's a horrible day.
Yeah.
I bet there have been no kids anywhere near that playground if that tape hadn't been there anyway,
I wonder who actually put that tape there anyway, really. Did someone actually go?
It might be because Seattle was one of the first places that was like in the States at least that was kind of widely affected. Like they were one of the first places that shut stuff down and all that kind of stuff. So it's possible that they have like they had the police going around and taping up the playgrounds, I guess. Which seems kind of.
I mean, to be fair, it's actually quite
but...
sensible to take that out because that is like a germ. Because kids they probably do lick the slide. To be fair, do you know what I mean? So, probably one of the more.
Well, it's just weird though, because like these dudes like I don't know what he's thinking. Like if he thinks he's saving kids by taking the tape down or what the hell's going through his head. But Earth is Seriously Flat had a similar thing. He had this ozone, this O3 maker, and he was talking about putting that in schools. Like that's like dangerous for kids.
What?
So it's like I don't know what the hell. The people should take the shit out of these people's hands. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just the beauty of the internet, being able to see some like crazy people. Obviously, the flat Earth has a lot of crazy people, and getting to see some of this is quite funny. Because he's just like angry, isn't he? He's been on the internet all day. He's gone for a walk.
Right.
No, it's more than that though. It's more than that because he had you saw he was using both hands to throw that out, which means he had a harness that was holding that camera. So he had to set that up. Like he saw the park and was so angry that he just he had to go home or whatever it is. He
Did he
got
ca-
himself set up just to film tearing that down so he
Right.
could have this tirade.
I think you're right, because he was going on as well. He talked about how he'd got the balls to do it, and other people should have the balls to do it. And it didn't seem to me like a particularly ballsy thing to do.
No.
No. Not at all. Later on, that guy has balls, whatever that clip is later on. What? But this is nothing. Come on. Tate.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It, like, as you say, it did seem like he was angry about a lot of other things as well, wasn't he? You know.
Yeah. I think as well, like, it's all part of the same sort of, you know, we see a lot of, is hubris the right word, where but a lot of the flat earthers, they're so convinced they're right, they're not even skeptical about their own ideas. And it's a bit more of that. Like, I'm a bit skeptical about things, but I wouldn't dare go and rip off or just try and do anything which I think would, it's where do they get the balls from to think they're so sure that they should, I know, like, no one's going to care that the thing's gone. They're probably sensible enough to still not play on the thing. But in his mind, he's, come on, kids. He'd have them all out there.
Right. Right. And as you say, I mean, most of them are basically repeating what they heard on Globebusters, what they heard that vegan woman say, who's she's what do they call it? Naturopathic doctor or so, I can't naturopath or something they call it, don't they? And,
yeah.
And apparently she was even radical for one of them. They even wanted to throw her out of the naturopathy university or whatever it is. So, and they're all just blabbing the crap that she said, which is that viruses are, you all carry them in you and you don't catch them. They're just caused by, eating the wrong stuff and this sort of thing,
Right, not enough cow urine.
Well, generally, not enough cow urine. That's naturopath. That's what that is. But like typically naturopaths, they don't say that the medical industry and germ theory is wrong. They just say that there are alternative medicines that are more natural.
Right. I think that's where they fell out with her, because she was saying that she's an anti-vaxxer and she's a vegan, and I think the anti-vax thing was probably where she fell foul. She still has the qualification though, I think, but she talked about how they weren't too happy with her and they tried to take it off her and this sort of thing.
Hey, can I check for echo before I
You're good.
Oh, welcome, Curved. Glad you could make it.
Hey, everyone. Hey, I didn't realize you were starting this earlier. I would have gotten back sooner, Jim.
Oh, no worries.
I wanted to say, if that dude was really as ballsy as he claims and serious about his mission, I would think that he would have followed up by going around the neighborhood and dragging kids out of their houses down to the playground.
Yeah. Well, maybe he could have got Oh, what happened there?
I was just saying, I feel like the irony that
Okay, wait.
Scott, you're
That sounds
absolutely
insane.
bursting.
Yeah, sorry.
the mic.
Yeah.
But welcome,
Satan
Scott.
himself.
Yeah. Someone was asking what a dragon would sound like earlier. Apparently, I think there's a line in the Bible about somebody having a voice like a dragon or something. And and here Scott has it. Yeah, if you can just sort of gain down a bit, Scott, I think would be good. While he's doing that, I will do this if you guys will indulge me for a moment. Which is to say, 2 weeks ago, I was owner and operator of my own little business. Not a great business these days, to be honest, but it allowed me to get by. Since the UK shutdown, I now have no business at all. On the plus side, this means I have time to produce a show like this every week, but I could really use a little support doing it. If any of you lovely audience can spare a few pounds or dollars to help me out, you'll be doing me a great big favour, as it will help me keep the lights on here. So if you can please hit my PayPal link in the description box, or here in the live chat, which I'll stick in a minute, and throw us a few dollars or pounds, you'll really be helping me out. There is a Patreon link in the description box too. Thank you very much. Back to the show. Hope
You
don't-
go help Jem out because, like, like some of the people in this community, man, are getting away with murder with some of the things they're getting. So at least help Jem, because he actually puts a lot of work into his shows. Like,
and I haven't asked for money before or
Nah.
monetized anything before, so right now it would really, really be useful.
Jem really does put a lot of work into these shows. And you should put your clips up, Jem. Everyone says you should put individual videos.
I will
of
do.
just your clips because you put a lot of work into
I
that.
certainly will do. Yeah.
Good.
I'm definitely going to do my coronavirus one because I think that.
Yeah,
again,
you're going to get demonetized. That's the worst way to die.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the music isn't mine anyway, so there's a copyright claim on the music anyway, so I wouldn't get the money for it. So.
No, but you can't talk about coronavirus too much on YouTube because you get you get demonetized instantly, and you get like put on a list of people YouTube hate.
You get a link. I don't know why though, because you'd think actually it's a thing that a lot of people are searching for at the moment. You know, if you've got that in your video, people are going to end up on it. And
they might have loosened it up actually. You see a lot of it, more of it actually now.
Well, they're sticking those links on. You know, like you get a link under Flat Earth videos that links you to the Flat Earth wiki page. Well, there's one under videos now that mention coronavirus that links to, well, for us, it links to the UK, the NHS page for it. So they're kind of doing that. But you also, I've also seen a message when I was uploading, which said that they are, because of social distancing, I think it said they got smaller teams or basically if you want a manual review on anything, which I will need a manual review on this show because it mentions Flat Earth and what have you, you have to wait longer or some content will get taken down that isn't actually breaking the rules. It says that in a YouTube message somewhere. So
yeah,
it's all a bit of a mess, I guess, isn't it?
It's all right. JFK Jr. is coming back to save us all. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that is. I'm looking forward to that. Well, I don't know. We'll see. That could go either way.
What's this? It's
you don't really like. You should look at QAnon. It's brilliant. Like I want to believe. To be fair, it's pretty awesome. But I just, I think thing is with QAnon, they're always like, oh, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. So with all this happening, it's like quite extreme. Do you know what I mean? But JFK, he didn't die. He faked his plane crash because obviously everyone's killing all the Kennedys, which actually was happening, to be fair, and he was probably killed. But and then he's been working with Trump ever since, and then he's going to come back, and because like obviously everyone hates Trump, so I like Trump. Well, don't hate me, but I like Trump. But most people hate Trump. Do you know what I mean? So he'll be the face of the new revolution after they arrest everyone in Hollywood.
This is why Easter's such a big deal. Is because Jesus, the Savior, is coming back.
Yeah, but you know what? From a Christian point of view, I would say that would make him the Antichrist, because the only thing I would say Trump doesn't get Antichrist qualities for is because most people don't like him, and the Antichrist is supposed to be universally loved. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
well, I'm wondering. We could talk
everyone
about
loves
this
JFK and JFK Jr. I love JFK Jr. I don't really know him, but he seems like a nice guy.
Well, maybe Trump will do something that will make him universally loved. You know, like maybe he will be like, you know, that French guy that climbed up that tower block and rescued that baby a few months ago. Was it about a year ago? Maybe he'll do something like that. You know, he'll rescue a baby from a burning building and everyone will love him.
I hope so. I like Trump, honestly. Like, so, yeah, I know everyone hates that, but like, I just
said you hope so, but the whole premise of what Jem was saying was he'll be loved.
I know. Well, this is the hard thing about being a Christian conspiracy reformist. I guess I don't know. Like, it's hard. My mind goes mad.
Well, surely you want whatever the second coming or whatever it is. That's got to be. That's got to be a thing that all Christians throughout the generations have wanted to happen, and you know.
Yeah, but during those times is like going to be the hardest times ever of history. So it's going to be a hard time to live through. So selfishly, just purely selfishly, I don't want to live through those times. But obviously, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I don't want Jesus.
Go ahead, Lewis. Go ahead.
I remember being very young, sitting in church, and the entire congregation was, on their deathbeds almost, and the preacher raised his hand, and he only had 2 fingers, by the way. That's a different story. He raised up his hand and said, "How many of you think Jesus is coming back in your lifetime?" And literally everybody raised their hand. So I'm pretty skeptical about.
Yeah, I know.
this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone, all generations, haven't they? Have had it's revelation, even all the way back to the beginning. So,
Well, I'm thinking that I'm going with simulation theory here.
yeah,
And I think that since the Bible is part of the simulation, the creators of the simulation would definitely want to make some Bible stuff happen, because it would just be a great sort of, boss ending to the game,
Yeah.
So I think it's going to happen in my lifetime.
Do you think JFK's Jr. is coming back though?
Okay.
And you guys, it will happen in your lifetimes if you actually existed. However, you don't. You're just entities within my personal simulation.
Yeah.
So
right.
Oh, Jim's game.
Yeah.
Right.
Jim's game.
Well, Scott, have you got your mic fixed?
Yeah, because Scott must have a comment on my simulation theory.
Oh, the other one, by the way, yeah, I told you about this ages ago. I don't think you remember. Do you remember time traveling Trump? It's like one of my favorite conspiracy theories of all time, and that's involved because Baron Trump is time traveling. Yeah, sorry, just threw that in there.
He's on the Illuminati card, isn't he, as well?
He's in a book called, this is no joke, called The Adventures of Baron Trump, Time Traveler, or something like that, and it looks just like him, the hand drawn from the 1800s, and he's like, it describes Trump's Trump Tower in the address it's in New York, and politics, and it describes kind of today. He's traveling back in time, and they reckon as well when like Putin gave Trump that football, there was like all the codes for Hillary or whatever in there, and Baron Trump's time traveling. Oh man, like guys got to watch QAnon. Like it's just great.
Wait, that book has Trump Tower and it had his address?
Yeah, and the guy sending
No
him through
way.
time, giving him the instructions is called the Don. I'm not joking. He's called the Don, and he's called Baron Trump, and he's like time traveling. He's a genius.
Wow.
To save the world. Oh, guys, you can't always watch Flat Earth. You got to go deeper, right down the rabbit hole.
This is the rabbit hole that Roxanne Glenn has gone down, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
I clicked on some of her links.
Yeah.
I had such a good time.
Yeah. She's all into it. She's going on about Hillary and Podesta, and I'm
It's
I'm
brilliant.
thinking Cathexis was telling me this crap like 3 years ago, and I was saying he's talking about all these sealed documents, these sealed court documents that are going to be.
That's it.
And I can remember saying to him at the time, I said, okay, then, when is this going to actually come out? Because you've said this sort of thing before. When is this going to happen? And he said, within 6 months. And that was...
6 months ago.
It's at least...
Oh, shit!
No, wait. It's at least 3 years ago. At least.
Yeah, no, it's true. Q has been saying this for a while. That's why I'm always
And when I heard Roxanne saying it, I thought she's just picked up on some video or something from 3 years ago and not realized, do you know what I mean, that it's 3 years old, because it's if any of that shit was going to happen, it would have happened, surely.
Can I clarify something?
I mean, Hillary's not even relevant anymore, is she? I mean,
No, but if she's committed the crimes they claim she has, it doesn't matter whether she's relevant. You've got to go to prison or worse. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I guess so, but...
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're not... Like, people got to go to jail if that's true. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, do you know what I mean? That's so... I can see
I
why.
think if it was going to be uncovered as truth, I think that would have happened by now, though, wouldn't it?
Well, they're claiming they've been cleaning out all the agencies. Do you know what I mean? Getting rid of all the people and just getting good people in so that they can actually do the prosecutions, because otherwise they wouldn't work anyway. So they've got to be able to arrest everyone, and do you know what I mean? Without that's what they're claiming. Do you know what I mean? So I've been enjoying it. I just want it to happen, even if it's not. Well, no, obviously, I'd rather that wasn't a reality. Actually, to be fair, I don't know what I'm talking about.
It can't. How old is this book that you were talking about?
What book? Oh, look
The
it
book
up.
of
It's
Trump.
apparently it's 18 something, I think, if I remember right.
No way.
If you look
I
it
gotta
up,
check this out, man.
bro, like it's a really fun conspiracy. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. Time traveling Trump. I was telling people about this a while ago, and this all relates into Q now apparently, and JFK Jr. and I don't know how it all works. It's you know what I mean. It's just conspiracy videos, but it's funny.
Well, shall we have another one then?
Yeah.
So where did I get to? Right, so in an attempt to support the belief that this whole virus thing is a hoax, some flatties set off to investigate activity at their local hospitals. Here are Flat Earth Fuckers, Flat Earth Fucker, and Friend in action. And I'm not ready again, but it's coming.
My building 2 blocks down. I wanted to grab. What should I bring? Like I got my Flat Earth gear I always wear. I still want to keep you waiting, so I ran out.
We'll keep the Flat Earth clothes off. They're gonna think we're nut jobs.
Okay, well I can get. I got a little suit jacket I put on. Look more respectful.
Yeah.
Hi, do you need to see a doctor?
Maybe.
Okay.
Is it busy in here?
You have to come talk to me. You can't go in there. Yeah.
I'm just seeing how busy it is.
You don't get to go in through the door, unfortunately. You have to come talk to me.
What?
I'm here to control the entry to the hospital.
Oh.
What would you like to
Why are
come
you
in
so
for?
angry?
I'm not angry. I'm just asking you to listen to me. We're in a pandemic.
Oh, are we?
You're in there wandering around.
There's a pandemic going on?
Yeah, are you not aware?
I heard of this word pandemic.
Very good. Do you need to see a doctor today?
Yeah, but where's the pandemic?
Do you need to see a doctor today?
I could. Will they talk to me?
Yes?
Yeah.
What do you need to see a doctor for?
I'm looking for the pandemic.
So, do you need to see a doctor or can I help the next people?
Oh, you can help these
It's
guys.
not time for joking.
Oh,
Do you need to see a doctor?
you think it's a joke that we're being locked down? Yeah, can I get tested?
Can I have your care card, please?
I didn't bring it. Can I give you the number? Or?
Do you have any symptoms?
Well, yesterday I did.
What were the symptoms yesterday?
So I tried to go to Royal Columbian. They told me I had to call a number or something.
Did you do that?
No,
Why
because
not?
then I had to do some work. And then, yeah, they just told me to go home. But yesterday I had a sore throat. Like I woke up and then I was lying in bed again. I was wearing my hoodie and a blanket over me and I had like the sweats. And my head was all warm and my body was aching.
If you're not acutely ill, you should be staying home. We don't do swabs unnecessarily, so it's up to you.
But I don't want to die.
But we can't swab everybody, unfortunately, and I can't. If you're young and healthy, you're not severely ill. There's no need for a swab.
So what? I'm trying to understand what the pandemic is.
Well, the numbers.
But more people have the flu. I thought it's killer.
But the death rate now is higher on the COVID.
It's still it's still less than the flu.
It's not. No, the flu is 0.05 to 0.1%. The death rate on corona is almost 4%.
Of the population?
No. The rate of mortality if you get the bug.
But what about the population? I don't understand.
It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to debate it.
I'm not debating. I'm trying to educate myself.
So, but unfortunately, I can't take that on right now.
I wanted to get swabbed, but I don't want to. You know, I'm also trying to get educated here.
The news is the best place. CDC is the best place on their websites.
Oh, really?
Yep.
But I'm finding a lot of contradictory stories out there. I just talked to these people that went to visit. We came from the other side. They've been here for the last 2 weeks. They said the hospital is like a ghost town. There's nobody in there.
It's quieter. Yes, we're definitely seeing less people. That's how it should be.
But where's the pandemic? That's
So,
because I'm living in fear.
In the whole world.
Is there a pandemic going on at this hospital?
So there's a pandemic all over the world.
But not here.
All over the world.
Not here.
So a pandemic is, the definition of the pandemic that means is a disease and illness in all countries. It's not hospital, it's country related.
The science that's suppressed is like viruses aren't actually contagious. They're actually excretions of toxin that they did a thing where they put like sick person with the flu, and then they put a bag over them, and then they put a bag over another person, and they never got sick, and they did it with animals as well. COVID is fake. No such thing as COVID-19. What a fucking joke. I want to see the pandemic. I want to tell people to stay at home. Like, people are out on the streets, everywhere.
Sorry, we're not allowed to go anywhere inside.
Sorry?
Why? Is there a bug in there?
Not bug. Outside is bug. Everywhere is bug.
And people are dying outside.
You don't know this virus?
No, I've never.
Well, we heard about it in the news.
I just flew in. I never heard of this.
It's from Italy. He came from Italy today.
Yeah.
No, then sorry, you stay away.
Because we're bringing a bug, maybe?
Yes, everybody. Everybody is.
Ask the ambulance guy. And she said she's not busy today. Nothing.
I'm sorry, but I give you this paper so you can. Yeah.
But he's from Italy. You should check him in. He could be dying. Don't you want to save his life?
He's staying home.
Home?
To die?
14 days. Yeah. No, if he need to see emergency, then he
He
can
just
go.
came from Italy.
Is he an emergency person?
No.
Oh.
He said he is in emergency, so
Yeah,
he's
he-
dying, so he told me.
Oh, I see. If I so which.
Well, you came from Italy, man.
You need to see doctor?
Maybe, I don't know.
Hi. Where's this evidence of a pandemic?
Do you see anything?
You're not going to comment? Because there is no pandemic, right?
No. There is?
You shouldn't be joking about it. You shouldn't be joking about it. People are literally dying.
Oh, hold on. Stay calm. Stay calm. Well, that's what I'm here investigating. And you're not being very forthcoming. You're not being very helpful.
Pasteur the fraud.
Is there a pandemic here? Yeah? People are dying? Dead bodies everywhere? Well, what we're finding is what the news is telling us is not matching our reality, our people that we know, and nobody knows anybody with this, and yet the media is scaring us. So if that fear is real, I want to verify that, right?
Are you a doctor? Is there a pandemic going on inside? And yes, he has seen patients get the virus and get worse really quick. Is that a script?
A lot of people are testing positive? Yeah. Okay. And you've had interactions with these people that are positive?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a pandemic. I have literally seen people die.
Do you know anybody with the COVID
Yes,
personally?
in the hospital here.
You've met them?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And people are dying?
Yes,
All right.
at a rapid and shocking pace.
Really?
Yes.
Can I go to the morgue and check?
Go home.
Okay, thanks, nurse. I can't find one person that knows anyone, but yet they want to lock us down. We're not going to wake anybody up. These people want to, we're just verifying that the virus is a hoax. Yeah,
Basically, yeah.
that's all we can do here. Oh, flip around
That's-
this. I already know these fucking clowns are never going to wake up.
Yeah, that's true.
And there we have it.
Okay, first of all, nice vape. That guy had a nice vape. Like, he had Aegis Legend X with a Falcon tank. Very nice. But, do you know, like, there's new laws I think they passed in the UK. You could get up to 2 years in prison for doing something like that. What he's doing, like spitting, do you know what I mean? Doing all that stuff. And I think it's a shame because I think a lot of people could look at that and think, oh, yeah, and not understand that he thinks the Earth's flat. So, do you know what I mean? That's the other worrying thing. I think when I see some of this stuff, do you know what I mean? These people are quite crazy going around doing that, and they think they're making a point. And I think other people, like, it just encourages other people to do the similar stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit worrying, very worrying, very selfish.
To be fair, it does say flat earther on his car, and he's got like a flat earth shirt on. while he's doing all
Okay,
this stuff.
sorry. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, right at the beginning, I don't
His
know
name's
if you,
Flat Earth
I don't know if you caught it right at the beginning, but the guy, not Fokker, but his mate says, I didn't know whether I put my flat Earth shirt on or I didn't know whether to. He mentions his flat Earth shirt, And Fokker says, no, we should leave off the flat Earth clothing. They'll think we're mad, or they'll think we're crazy, or something like that. I know, right at the beginning there, he says that. So yeah, I thought that was pretty telling. They wanted to present themselves as some sort of, well, they call themselves journalists at one point.
No, I think every single person they talked to saw right through that immediately.
Right.
Well, how could it not? He was just being a dick from the start, wasn't he? What? Like, even like, when they talk, what virus? I've just flown in from Italy.
Right. I know. I mean, just wasting the time of health workers. I mean, I know it sounds a bit wimpy, I guess, but a time like this, you know what I mean? I mean, I guess they don't believe it's a time like this, but just to be so arrogantly sure of yourself that you can just go and start, where's the evidence of this pandemic to a passing nurse,
Whether you think it's real or not, you've got to understand that they do, and that do you know what I mean? You're just waiting, and at the end of the day, whether it's real or not, that's her job right now. She's
right.
trying to help
and
people.
the other guy bellowing at her that she's a fraud. I mean, it's crazy
it's weird
stuff.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like you have to. I mean, from their perspective, they think this whole thing's fake. It's like, how do you show it to somebody like that so they're not doing stuff like he's doing, like going around and going to hospitals? But honestly, like I've heard several people say this, that they're not going to believe it until they see people dying around them, like dying on the streets and stuff. I was like, holy shit! It's like once it's at that point, it's kind of like past the point of being able to do anything.
Well, then they're going to feel very stupid from walking around. Do you know what I mean? If that, I think that it's easy for us. I mean, I'm having a lot of doubts, obviously, as I've said about stuff. But I mean, if it gets to the point where there's thousands of people dying around me, I'll be glad I didn't go around pinning my mask to, do you know what I mean? Being a dickhead about it.
Right.
It did get that bad in Italy. They literally had like 600 deaths a day for, I don't know if it's still that bad, but there was a point where like in one day, 600 people died. And the military couldn't keep up with collecting the bodies because the military was charged with doing that. And so they told everybody to leave their bodies for Wednesday, and Wednesday would be body day. And so, you have people leaving their dead family members outside their house all week. It's horrifying.
It's like nuclear winter.
Yeah.
This is an important moment for our history, isn't it? This is like, no matter what happens, this is a crazy thing to have happened around the whole world.
Right.
I think the idiot in that video should put his money where his mouth is, be a man of his convictions, and start licking a few doorknobs.
Right. Well,
I think he would if he could get some views and some fucking super chats. Probably would.
Yeah, Charlie's made a point as well that we should tag into here, which is Ranty is now encouraging people to go to hospitals and look for COVID-19 patients. And I saw that a post on his, and that, I mean, that is crazy.
Well,
Ranty's one of the same people. He's just more interested in his YouTube fame, whatever, getting a bit of money like that,
right?
And he's just insane. He's Ken Burns, isn't he, Ranty? Lest we forget. So,
and I think this is a sort of an easy piece of content to create, isn't it? It's just go to a hospital at this stage in the proceedings where people are saying we need to be careful because it is going to get really bad, and go there and say, look, it's not got really bad. They haven't said that it's got really bad. They've said it's going to get really bad, But you can, one of the women in there said, well, that, he said, oh, we went so-and-so and it was really quiet. It's like a ghost town. And she said, well, yeah, we're trying to make the hospitals as quiet as we possibly can, to get as few people in them as possible. So they're ready for a lot of people being in them,
It is something I think, because everyone's complaining about we're being underprepared, but if the hospitals are all empty and ready, it doesn't feel like we are, but maybe they're just saying of the worst prediction coming, but it feels like we are quite prepared. I'm quite happy in this country about it. Sorry, Coach.
There's no people in the waiting rooms because they don't want people in the waiting rooms, and people who have COVID-19 aren't going to be crowding around in a big circle. But you know, my brother had he's getting over it now, but he's had the virus, and they were talking about it in 24/7, like who's got the virus, like do you know anyone who has it? And Jin said himself that his brother also has the virus, and I don't think anybody even paid attention when he said that. But you would think like once they're saying it themselves, like yeah, you know, I got family members and I have friends, then they start believing it. But even then, they still oblivious to it.
Right. A lot of them seem to have bought into this stuff that was on Globebusters, like, you know, viruses aren't real and germ theory is just a theory, and you know, this sort of thing, you know. Should we have another clip?
I think so. There's some. Which one's this one? Is this the really good one?
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, so go ahead, Lewis.
I was gonna say I think this is the Karen one.
It is the Karen one, yes.
Oh, well, Karen. Everything Karen's in is great. So. I'm a big fan.
All right, then. This week, Flat Earth tough guy Karen B weighed in with her vast medical knowledge in a Facebook rant to inform her family and friends of the virus hoax. Let's take a look.
The decimal Z.
We are in a situation where the entire country has been shut down over a couple hundred people dead. Something that is already shown, the numbers show, is less deadly than the seasonal flu. Okay, so if viruses are real, okay, I'm just trying to have everybody look at this stuff in a logical way. Okay, look at it in a logical way. If viruses are real, and they really are germs that come in from the outside and make people sick, okay? This virus, as far as the numbers go, is not even as deadly as the seasonal flu, or SARS, or MERS, or H1N1, okay? All of those things are worse than this. And they have shut down the world. They have literally put everything on pause for a virus that is not even as deadly as the seasonal flu. That's if you think everything works the way you are told. And nobody's questioning it. You're all just running inside your houses afraid. Most people are not practicing social distancing because it's bullshit. I'm saying that the official narrative of what they're telling us about the coronavirus and its what its capabilities are is completely horseshit. It's complete and utter horseshit. There are ads on the television that are telling you to not go visit your grandparents. Don't touch your grandparents because you could kill them. Little children are no longer allowed to hug their grandparents, and they are collapsing us into hard communism right now. I don't even know if we're still going to have the US dollar after this stuff gets out. Viruses are not what we are told. Okay, let's just start there. Viruses are not what we are told. Everybody has the coronavirus. Everybody has the influenza. Everybody's got all the viruses. Viruses are not germs that come outside from your body and make you sick. Okay, viruses is something that everybody carries inside of their body all the time. And the virus is a byproduct of your body excreting toxins from some sort of toxic substance or whatever that has come into your body, and that is your body trying to get rid of everything that is non-self. Viruses don't cause dis-ease, okay? They don't do that. That's not what it is. They're not even alive. How do you kill something that's not even alive? So Lysol on the back of the can where it says kills viruses is bullshit. And there are multiple doctors coming forward and talking about this now. And here's the mind-blowing part. I was shocked to learn that there is absolutely no scientific proof that HIV causes AIDS. It's all theory. Germ theory is just a theory, and they have built an entire structure based on this theory. But here's the thing. They have to know it's not true. They know that there's no deadly virus that's unleashed on everybody. It's a distraction. They've been trying to push socialism and communism on us for a while now. I think you have all seen it with George Soros and the way he manipulates economies and the candidates that are being put forth. And we all know that presidents aren't elected, they're selected, okay? So if you look at the past, how they have been trying to push these communist candidates on us, right? But nobody was taking it because most Americans, there's a very large population of conservative Americans here. You know, what you would normally consider to be like a good red-blooded American who is, you know, believes in the creator, loves family. You know, there's a lot of that here. What Second Amendment, you know, they own weapons. Okay, that's the majority. There's a lot of that people still here, right? So they're not going to just accept some sort of socialist or communist regime to be imposed, right? They have set this whole beast system up to convince you that you aren't shit. And it all starts with them lying to you about the planet, about the shape of the planet and where you live, and covering up God's creation, the creator, separating you from the very creation that you were built as a part of, that you were made to be part of, that was made for you. Okay, severing you from your intuition, severing you from your foundation, from your solid foundation that the creator set for you. That's where it starts. Okay, so they keep lying about stuff. So then, you know, they made up this whole thing about the germ theory and the viruses and these tiny little germs that are invisible. They can't see it. They can never show you a picture of it. They can never show you really what it looks like because they have never seen it. It's just a theory. And then they tell you that these things can be so deadly that they can knock out entire swaths of a population at one time. But these things are not real. The only way to catch a virus, besides one that is already in your system, is to have it injected into your blood. This is what vaccines are. Every single vaccine that they have set up to give to you is just poison in a needle. That's it. It's only poison in a needle. It is only meant to make you sick. It is only meant to induce some sort of reaction in your body that will cause dis-ease and make you a lifetime customer for the bullshit healthcare system that they have set up. And they will keep pumping you full of poison, and your body will keep getting sick, and you will keep excreting toxins, and you will keep being diagnosed with viruses or dis-ease because they are constantly poisoning your system. They want to do a thing where they want to have mandatory vaccinations for people against coronavirus, okay? With all these doctors coming forward about how viruses don't work the way that we are told, and that basically any vaccine is a virus that was removed from a body, genetically modified and altered in a lab, and then re-injected into your body. That's exactly what vaccines are. They are proteins, human diploid cells from aborted fetuses that have been genetically modified and then re-injected back into your system, and now they tell you that you're immune. However, whenever there is a breakout of these supposed, you know, eradicated diseases, the people who get them are people who've been vaccinated. Do you know why? Because they literally had the virus injected into their system. Well, then you've just agreed to be poisoned. You've agreed to be poisoned and marked like cattle so that you can participate in society. I care about you guys. You guys don't get it. I do this out of love. I tell you the truth because I care. There is no virus. You get it? The only virus is the virus in your mind, people. The virus in your mind. That's the only virus. They have poisoned your mind with lies, and you believe them, and you believe them so wholeheartedly that you are willing to attack your friends to defend it. I'm never going to shut up. I'm never going to fall in line. I'm never going to comply, and I'm never going to stop fighting this bullshit. You guys don't get it. You guys don't get it. Wake up. We need to demand scientific evidence that viruses cause disease because they don't have it. Just like they don't have scientific evidence that the earth is a ball. They don't have scientific evidence that there's gravity or any of this bullshit that's going on. I mean, they don't have, all of it is lies. That's all I want to know. I want to know what's going on. I want to know why the whole world's been shut down over less than 11,000 dead people, because that's bullshit. Y'all don't get it. So you guys don't get it. You guys don't get it. Most people don't get it.
she's cross.
What?
Hey, I
So
like her
there's-
Eugene Grey look with that grey.
That's what I was gonna bring up. is When did she do? When did she start this? Dyeing this white? What's going on there? I haven't seen that before.
Personally, I find it hard to laugh at this. I mean, I think it's
Right.
because we spend so much time with flat earthers that our baseline has changed. It takes them talking about something else for us to realize how absolutely batshit stupid they are.
Yeah. She kept talking about sickness and disease, and I was thinking, wow, I'm getting quite diseased from listening to this.
Yeah. Again, though,
Good
most of what she was saying about that was stuff that she had got straight from that, what those people on Globebusters were saying. She's just repeating what they had said. And she'd got some study, actually, that was on ResearchGate, and it was someone that was saying that HIV AIDS isn't caused by a virus.
Was it
Everyone has AIDS.
He'd looked at various studies and stuff, but I don't know how. It was by a doctor, an actual doctor, but I don't know how valid it was.
Well, one thing she said, which you think there would be a study for, was pretty sure she said viruses. The people who have viruses are people who've been vaccinated. So, I guess the people who haven't been vaccinated don't get viruses.
Right.
Don't you think that there would be some kind of that would be a big red flag?
Yeah, it would be. It's not true. She said so many things there that just aren't true.
Right.
So it's
Another claim she made, which I meant to include and didn't, was that she said if placebos work in medicine testing, if placebos work, that means the medicine doesn't work.
Correct. Wow. I would love to spend time with this woman. I think she'd be an absolute pleasure.
It's clips like this that make me really feel sorry for her son. And yeah. Other people.
I think it's a daughter, actually, isn't it?
She transgendered her daughter already?
I could have sworn she had a son. I specifically remember seeing a video of her talking into her microphone. This was probably a year ago, and like some little kid walked by in the background and like stood and looked in the camera with like sort of a dead expression and then walked away.
I thought she had multiple kids, maybe. 'Cause I remember I'm not sure if it was talked about in here or where it was talked about, but yeah, she was having a custody battle where they actually brought up the flat Earth and all that.
Oh yeah, she did say that, didn't she? That it was brought up.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I would feel sorry for her daughter as well. Just maybe I should clarify that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You'd think she'd think twice about posting that on Facebook if she'd been in a custody battle over, where that flat Earth had been an issue, because, saying germs aren't a thing, and you know what I mean. It would seem to me that's even worse than, that does present a real danger to a child, doesn't it? If you take on
Absolutely.
that.
Not being able to measure curvature is not quite as dangerous.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so.
But it is all part of the same problem, isn't it? It's just mad delusion, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just amazing how they all just blab the same crap, All it needs is somebody to say something, which is, that bit of science isn't true, and they'll just go with it. They don't care how valid the source is, or if anybody else is saying the same thing, or they don't care. It's just, oh well, that person said it, and it confirms my bias. So
who
I'm
makes
away.
the most convincing YouTube video?
Right.
I think they can change their minds. It's all to do with how the presentation, I reckon.
I don't know. I don't think they even need to be that convincing. I think that woman who was on Globebusters that we heard. I mean, she talked about her, her qualification, and I think she was honest about it. And if you took her at face value, what she said about it, she's nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's no one to be talking about these subjects, and you should just really ignore her waffle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but they just don't see it like that, I guess. You know, they think she said something which refutes, you know, what a couple of 100 years of you know, advances in medicine have, you know, uncovered, sort of thing. So, who knows?
I really hope, like, the good thing about, for me, going through the whole flat earth thing was, it's a good realization of how much shit you can get wrapped up in, do you know what I mean? And maybe just realize that you might be convinced but completely wrong and just completely in the dark about something. So
right.
I think we all, like, not everyone, but like certainly people like me you need to go through this training on the internet of realizing that, like, something could sound really convincing and all that, but just think about it, like, you know, like, I don't know, you can be totally...
and the thing is, it doesn't have to. Don't cough, Lewis. Okay, everyone moved slowly away from Lewis.
Snipe him.
Somebody put a bag over his head.
Boot him.
But I think, you know, you could hold a flat earth belief and completely buy into everything mainstream about coronavirus, couldn't you? It doesn't have to affect your flat earth belief. But, you know, they go with all these alternative ideas, I think, a lot of the time just because they're alternative ideas.
Yeah, I think it's more that you got to realize that people could be really passionate and speak with a lot of conviction, and they're completely wrong, haven't done any real proper thinking, and can totally biased. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Which applies to a lot of the flat earthers. So it might sound convincing for a lot of people who can't, like, who maybe don't think through or haven't thought through a lot of things, haven't got time to educate themselves. Everyone's looking up to someone to tell them. We all are. Do you know what I mean? We're looking at government advice. And you just got to be careful, because people you can see in these communities, it always makes me laugh. It's like sometimes some of what they're saying, I might get sucked in if I didn't know they were a flat earther.
Right.
It instantly tells me they haven't, without being rude, they haven't really thought critically about, do you know what I mean, things. So why should I trust anything?
Right.
Basically.
Like right at the start of that, she said, I just want to think about this logically. If viruses are real, you know, you think, hold on a minute.
Great start.
The logic ended at the end of the first sentence. You know what I mean? There's no logic to the second one. If viruses are real. Well,
but if you knew she was a flat earther, you'd already know you don't need a sentence.
Right, yeah.
See what I mean? Why would I? And I think that's what I think a lot of people, I hope one day in the future, if they come out of the flat earth or whatever, will have that thick skin of just maybe not falling for things. That's just something personally I feel a lot. Do you know what I mean? When I watch that, I think, I could have fallen for this a while ago. Do you know what I mean? If I didn't realize how stupid I am. Sorry, carry on.
No, shall we have a final clip? Because it's banging on. We've been on an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. What's next? Oh, it's Renee, isn't it?
Oh, clap, yeah.
Yes, we all love this one. And finally this evening, Flat Earth's creepiest creep, Renee, also known as Earth is Seriously Flat, took exception to what he thought was a 5G installation in his neighborhood. Take a look.
Hey brothers and sisters, here we are on quarantine. They don't let anybody go to school. They want everybody to open their business, their bars. They want everybody to stay home, all right? Everybody to stay home. On the other hand, we got this knucklehead up here working on 5G. When everybody's quarantined, nobody knows what's going on, and they're upgrading their 5G, the kilometer frequency. That's what's going on, brothers and sisters. Right here, we're here in Sunset Beach, California, beautiful stationary flat earth. And we got this knucklehead. This is who they're working for. Hey man, what you doing up there? How you doing? What you doing up there, brother? You're supposed to be quarantined. Hey! Hey, dude! Hey! Hey! Come down! I know you're working. You're supposed to be quarantined. What are you doing outside? You're not under quarantine? You're not under quarantine. Who's your boss? Who's your boss? Who's your boss? Give me your name. Come down. Come down. I need your name. Hey, come down here right now. Get your ass down here right now, sir. What you doing up there? What frequencies are you using right now? Hey, brother. Hey, you can hear me, right? Come down, man. Get your ass down here, brother. What you doing up there? What you afraid out of? We got these knuckleheads. Tampering with our communications and frequencies on our neighborhood. We're not gonna allow that. We're gonna know who they are. Hey brother, come down here right now, please. Hey, I need to talk to you, brother. Hey! Hey, get your ass over here, brother. I need to know what you're doing in the public. What are you doing up there, man? Hey! We're supposed to be in quarantine, right? I need to know who gave you authorization to be on the streets without a mask. I think you're infected with coronavirus. Get down here right now, man. You're breaking the law, man. You're going to jail. You're going to jail, motherfucker. Get your ass down here, man. I'm calling the cops, man. I'm calling the cops. Get your ass down here. Look at this piece of shit, man. He stopped doing, as soon as I questioned him and I started asking him who he is and what is he doing, he stopped working. Whatever the fuck he's doing something that's not right. We're gonna get to the bottom of this shit. You know, we know the 5G kilometers, 60 gigahertz. We know it's messing up with the oxygen molecule. This is science. They cannot deny that. All this mainstream media zombies think that they got sick from the coronavirus, and this is just the side effects of the kilometers that are upgrading, and they're putting everybody on lockdown so they can come and work on this shit. What the fuck is this? Hey man, who you working for? I'm gonna turn off your car. Fuck you. Have a good day. I got your keys, motherfucker. I got your keys. I don't know what you're doing, but it's not right. Come down. Are you gonna come down and talk to me? Who are you working for? Who are you working for, man? I need to know. I'm gonna turn on the car and you're gonna come down. motherfucker, come down. You got power now. What the fuck are you doing up there, motherfucker? What are you doing? What the frequencies? Are you working with 5G? Okay, come down and tell me. If you're not working with 5G, you're not the enemy. Okay. You working for the gas company? What's your name? Vincent what? I need to know your name. Yes, I need to know your name.
What a nut job.
But like we were saying earlier, that guy's got the balls.
Hey, you motherfucker, you piece of shit, have a good day.
I can't drop keys, motherfucker. That was pretty epic. Come on.
He needs better tact, man. It's like, why would you come down from a high place far away from this crazy maniac who's screaming at you, telling you to come down? It's like no one is going to come near that guy.
Right. You know,
my absolute favorite line was, "I don't know what you're doing, but it's wrong."
Exactly.
I think that's probably a legendary clip, to be fair.
It is, because he's sort of, you know, it's a guy working on a fucking lamppost, you know? I mean, you know, that's not a suspicious thing, is it? You know? It's like, when did that become a thing where you get to shout at people about it and stuff, you know?
It wouldn't matter if it was 5G and you were convinced 5G was bad for people. That's just not something you do. I mean, man's not well.
Right. You would, you know, maybe call the company and say, or the council and say, where's the planning permission for this? Or, do you know what I mean? There's a whole load of routes that you would take rather than just bellowing at the guy.
And I was disappointed to see he was saying, shouting, "Where's the mask?" And he's not wearing a mask himself.
Right. Yeah. Right. And talking about quarantine, which wasn't a, I mean, they weren't really under a lockdown as such at the well, maybe they were. I'm not quite sure.
No, they weren't. They weren't. San Francisco was, but that's 20 miles north of where he is. So.
Right. So, I think they were under sort of stay-at-home orders, weren't they? I think that was a.
Yeah, like stay away from me when I'm trying to work.
Right.
I'm trying kind of all right up here.
Well, that's what's funny is that, like you said earlier, like some of the dudes are claiming that it's caused, the virus is caused by 5G, but then there's other people claiming that the virus is a fake hoax so that they can put up 5G while everyone's at home for some reason.
Right.
Why would you need to be home for them to do that? They could do that on any day of the week.
Yeah.
Well, that Globebusters lady said so they could run some sort of a test or something.
Yeah. Drive us all mad. Buy toilet paper.
Right, yeah.
We all did it. Shit.
Yeah. Toilet paper, I feel, is the key to this conspiracy. You know?
Yeah.
That's where the secret lies, I think, in the toilet paper.
Yeah. It's all a conspiracy to
I am
make buy.
immune because I do not have any toilet paper. I have kitchen roll. And I don't think I don't think it carries the secret in the same way.
Your plumber's gonna love you.
God. You need to invest in the clear rear, the bidet.
Yeah. This is all a conspiracy.
Yeah.
But
Well,
B-Day.
I think I mentioned last time, or maybe I didn't, but I have mentioned it, that when this toilet paper thing happened, there seemed to be endless flat earth channels with, no toilet paper arse cleaning advice, all sorts of things. Every time I put one of them on, they were saying, "Oh, you can use a flannel, and you can use leaves, and you can." And I thought,
sniff it afterwards.
I could have figured this out for myself as an adult. That
Just have a shower.
Alternative ways of getting my bottom clean. We've all had to mend and make do at some point in our lives. You know, haven't we? Haven't we though? I mean,
Yeah, let's jump in the shower.
When you get to my age, you've run out of toilet paper. You know, at a sticky moment, let's say, more than once in your lifetime, and had to get yourself out of it.
Yes.
So, Toady makes a good point. He says, I think Rene had his business closed down as he does furniture renovations. Suspect that's been closed now and is mad about that too. I thought he's somehow connected with this hot yoga thing, isn't he? I thought.
What is hot yoga? I saw someone say something about that.
Well, I don't. It's yoga done at 40 degrees or something.
What?
Yeah, you do it. You do it in a studio at temperature. Lewis has done it apparently.
Yeah, it's a great time.
He's a very worldly fellow, is Lewis, isn't he?
I suppose. Yeah. It's just a class-led yoga in a hot room. That's it.
Okay.
So anyway, this is on Everett Anderson's channel, and I should, of course, pay tribute to Everett because it's from his channel that I got the guy ripping down the playgroundy stuff, and it was his channel where I first saw this last clip as well. So, give him a mention, and the link is in the description. So he does have it on there, and apparently they kept running this hot yoga studio even though there were sort of lockdown orders where they are, and
he was running yoga studio, was he?
Yeah, you know, so they got a class in there
no-no.
sweating next to each other.
Oh, come on. That's, yeah.
Right, so the council go in and say, you've got to stop doing this, and they say, no, we're going to keep doing it. So the guys from the council go away and speak to someone higher up at the council, and then they come back and remove the business license from the wall of the business while it's in operation. Right.
Wow.
And you actually, there's a new, I don't know whether this is on Everett's channel, but there was actually like a local news report from that area where there's some council officials saying, yeah, we sent them back in and they tore the business license off the wall.
Wow.
and the business is now closed. And I think he was connected with that. I got that impression, but
It's gonna be tough for him to get that back when this is all over.
Oh, was that Fokker? It's Fokker. I'm getting them mixed up. It's Fokker that's connected with that, I think.
Okay.
But you know what? It is bad, right? As someone who owns a business myself, right, in my area, like I've said I got a vape shop, right? So I've closed, as have some of the others, and some other vape shops have not closed, right? They're doing limited, and they're taking a lot of our customers that, you know, instead of they don't want to go on the website, they do this and all that. I would plug my website, but I don't want to dox myself too bad. But like, and it's just annoying. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that is fair at the time where we're all supposed to, like, and I've got my doubts about stuff, but I'll still do the right thing. Do you know what I mean? There's more important things than, you know, if everyone's going to close down. So I do think people deserve to be shamed and, you know, have licenses taken and be fined or not helped, because I feel like these people are going to do that, still claim the government benefits, blah, blah, blah. I'm ranting, sorry, but yeah, close them down.
Well, I think maybe with something like that, couldn't you continue to do that, but limit the class size, for instance? What if you had, if you have a room where, you know, normally you have a dozen people, let's say, what if you just did 2 at a time or something like that?
Okay, but if yoga's going, then this is not a lockdown. Then all the shops shouldn't have to be closed. Do you know what I mean? It's
true.
Yeah, because I could let 2 customers at a time come in or something. That's way better than yoga, sweating and everywhere on each other.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
right. You don't have to touch people in hot yoga.
No, but I'm just saying that, like, you know, if that's the situation we're at where that's allowed, then other shops should be allowed to be open. You know, because there's probably less likely contagion in a shop than there is in a yoga class, in my opinion.
No, yeah, it's definitely true.
I was surprised when they shut the drive-throughs, I have to say, because, you know, my business relies on those drive-throughs, and when they shut, I was fucked.
Yeah.
And I really didn't expect that to happen, because I thought, well, drive-through, you know, that's kind of safe. And
you should, yeah.
And there was even a report in the Financial Times where someone was saying that they thought someone had they'd acted too quickly. But I think the problem was with drive-throughs was getting similar to hot yoga, I guess, is that they're saying it's not the drive-through interaction that's the problem. It's the people working in the kitchen, in a small kitchen on top of each other.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sweaty kitchen, you know, and often loud, you know, they need to speak loudly often in those places, you know. You know, that's, they can't guarantee the safety of the staff, and I think that's why they closed them. But, God.
Yeah.
Please let them open again soon, please.
Mm.
Find
Well,
a way, McDonald's.
There was a guy in 24/7 earlier who was freaking the hell out. He's freaking everybody out too because he was driving around, probably looking for food. But he was describing like the places that were open. He's like, everywhere's closed down except for McDonald's, KFC, Walgreens. He's like, I can't believe this, man. They're just shutting down all the mom and pop shops so these guys can.
You know, it's the opposite here, though. In London, it's McDonald's and all that who have closed, the big ones, and all the little mum and pop shops are still open. They're the only ones allowed open.
Yeah, some of the, you know, here there's still some, you know, some of those takeaway shops, kebab shops, and places like that. They're still open just for takeaways, but they aren't really my business anyway. And there's all sorts of. I mean, I had a link sent to me for a video that somebody shot at some fairly popular takeaway, and they got all these delivery riders lined up outside. You know, the guys on the bikes, the delivery guys.
Yeah,
and they got you know, maybe 20 of them all lined up outside, all right next to each other, all chatting away and smoking together, and just like normal, you know, no social distancing whatsoever. And these are guys who are delivering food, going from house to house and from business to business, that's serving food. You know, it's a recipe for disaster, you know, and it's in London.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the big problem is. So
a lot of people, honestly, here aren't even in my area. Don't even take it that seriously at all. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's really actually quite annoying and rude, I think, you know. So these are some of the areas that have been warned, like where you see Boris looking at Richmond Park, like, what's this all about?
Right.
You just don't give a shit around here. You go to a few areas away and then everyone's, you know, wearing a mask and being careful. And
I think the thing is that people don't think in terms of a population, do they? And I felt the need to, you know, I thought, oh, great, you know, maybe I should get out in the country, get some fresh air, get away from the city and feel like I don't have to worry about bumping into people and stuff, you know. And you feel like, and of course, if I'd done that, I'd have just gone to somewhere where everyone else goes. And I'd have been one of these people who's traipsing around the Peak District that everyone's pissed off with, you know. So
what's wrong with that, though? I don't get it. Do you know what I mean?
I can kind of understand why people did it. Well, I suppose because you end up with a sort of a tourist attraction where there's a lot of people milling around together, you know, and inevitably there'll be little bottlenecks and things like that where people are sort of coming into contact with each other that you don't really want, you know.
I know. There's a funny meme out there, you know, where it's got like, it's one of them Drake memes, and it's like people on the tube, like it's like people in a park and they're all spread out, you know, like you know, quite far away. No, that's bad. Police come in. People on the tube in London all crammed into the carriage. Like, that's fine. Like, so I don't know. I just think they need to focus. I don't think
that's the thing, and I think that you probably could make an argument that it's okay for people to go to certain areas, you know, a certain amount of people, if you like, or something like that. But the problem is, then you've got to start saying which areas, because another thing that people did is they all went to their seaside caravans. You know, Americans probably don't know what I'm talking about here now, but a lot, you know, often people here have a little.
Like a trailer?
What you guys would call a trailer on a trailer park at the seaside. And it's not usually horrible. Some of them actually are horrible, like the American trailer parks.
A lot of them are horrible.
But some of them are, you know, some of them are just touristy places. But of course, everyone thought, oh, great, you know, I can't go to work. I've got to work from home. I'm on my laptop anyway. I'll fuck off to the caravan by the seaside, get some nice sea air. You know, and of course they end up on a caravan site where there's fucking, 3,000 other people, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's
You know,
not good.
sharing a bar and all in the same little tiny little shop, you know, and all that kind of thing. So you've got to start distinguishing between where you can let people go and where you can't. I guess it's just a lot simpler to just say everyone just stay in, you know.
Everyone stay safe. Yeah, that's the advice.
Wash your hands and things like that.
20 seconds, wash your hands. 20 seconds, that's a long time.
It
I haven't done that
is
once.
a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've noticed that. That is a long time. I find myself doing that thing, you know, where you do the backs with your fingers, you know.
Yeah.
I find myself doing that probably more than is necessary just to sort of fill the 20 seconds.
Yeah. He's filming me on my phone or something or find me later. Like, I don't know. That's the one thing I worry about. Like, let's not go too mad. Hopefully there's ways to repeal all these crazy laws because we don't need this.
Right, and let's hope the government modelling is incorrect and we've all been infected since, you know,
January.
January, and we just didn't know it. And
everyone was super ill in January. Let's admit it. Everyone was ill in January. I was ill anyway. Yeah.
Well, the people I've mentioned this to, and it's only a couple. I know this is only anecdotal, but two of them, straight away said, "Oh yeah, I had this really bad cough then." You know. Yeah. But there was Scott. There was our very own Twitwit, who also had a bad cough about that time. I hope she doesn't mind me blabbing her medical history. And then my friend, a friend I spoke to, did I tell you this earlier, who has Airbnb, and she has a lot of Chinese people staying. And she said, I noticed they kept coughing all the time, and I thought it was a cleaning product I was using, and I was going to change my cleaning product, and so maybe there is some truth to that. It would kind of be good, wouldn't it, if it was?
Let's hope.
Yeah, it would mean that the mortality rate's a lot lower than they're projecting.
Right.
Yeah, that's what some of these models have said, but who knows?
But it's probably just, you know, wishful thinking, eh? I don't know.
We don't. Yeah. It is wishful thinking, but it doesn't mean it's not true.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but even better, JFK Jr. might come back and give us all free money. So that's the best outcome of this. So I'm going with that.
We should look forward to that.
I bet he's got an eye patch too.
With an eye patch, like Solid Snake. Epic.
We should probably draw this to a close because this is probably the longest show we've ever done, I think.
We're all bored. We've got nothing to do. No jobs for tomorrow.
We're all staying in. So
yeah.
Well, I will be putting together another show for next week. So I don't know what I'm going to use because I've crammed this one full of stuff, but I dare say they'll say some crazy stuff in the next few days.
Can you look? Can we do a Ranty and Riley special?
Right,
the breakup.
They're having a right feud, aren't they, at the moment?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think it's very uncharitable of Ranty to post his latest video of Riley lifting up his shirt with the scratches or whatever. I was like, that's too far, Ranty. You're supposed to be friends. What's going on?
Yeah, because they're just escalating it each, I think, aren't they? It's, you know, it's like watching, a global thermonuclear war play out in its early stages, you know. So anyway, okay, I'll wrap it up. I'll have to find the titles at the end of this, so give me a minute. Thank you to everyone who donated. I have had some donations because I nipped and checked, so thank you very much to everyone who did that. If you can spare us a few quid, the link's in the description, and as is my Patreon. And join us again next week for more fabulous flatness. In the meantime, if you see something that you think should be included in the show, please post a timestamp link in the comments section of this video, or join our Discord server. The link is in the description, along with channel links for tonight's panel. Our Discord has nearly 1,900 members, and we managed to keep a conversation going virtually 24/7. We welcome members with opposing views, so click the link and join us. Thanks again to tonight's fabulous panel, and thanks to all of you for watching. We'll be back around the same time next week. So until then, please rate, comment, and subscribe, and have a great evening. And now I need to find my titles.
Pay your mods, Captain Bullshit said. That's a good, I like that, yeah. Oh, hang on, I'm not the mod, maybe.
Stop talking about it and do something!
Suck my dick earth with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate. Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent? Is your friend?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.